Hello and welcome. Have you ever listened to a native English speaker and just thought, wow, they talk so fast? Well, today we're going to unlock the secrets of how people really speak English. It's not about speed, it's about connection. This will help you understand so much better and maybe even sound a little more natural yourself. Okay, let's dive in. So let's start with the number one question, the one that can be so frustrating for English learners. You're trying your best to listen, but it sounds like the words are just flying by. But here's a little secret. Is it really about speed, or is something else going on? The answer, you'll see, is pretty interesting. You see, the trick isn't talking faster, it's about talking, well, more smoothly. It's all about connecting words so they flow together. Just look at this. On the left, you have what you might learn in a book. I am going to go to Walmart. Each word is separate. But on the right is how you'll probably hear it in a conversation. I'm gonna go to Walmart. It's not really faster, it just flows like one big long word. So here's our little roadmap for today. First, we're gonna bust that fast speech myth. Then we'll look at how words connect, how sounds can actually change, some common shortcuts, and finally, the music of English speech. Right, so the most important idea to start with is this. Native speakers are not trying to win a race. They aren't thinking, I have to talk fast. No, not at all. They're just using some simple tricks to make their speech flow better and, honestly, to make it easier to say. It's all about connection. And that brings us to this big idea here, connected speech. This is why a real conversation sounds so different from an audio recording in a textbook. You can think of connected speech as like the glue that holds sentences together, making everything sound smooth and natural. So, let's talk about that flow. How does it happen? Well, our first technique is all about connecting words. And a really good way to think about it is like music. When someone sings a song, they don't stop after every single note, right? Of course not. They connect the notes to make a beautiful melody. Speaking English is kind of the same thing. Let's take a really simple example. If you were reading this, you might say each word very clearly. Cats, or dogs, and that's perfectly fine. But in a normal everyday conversation, something else happens. The words don't want to stay separate. Instead, they blend together into one long sound, like this, cats or dogs. See how that works? The S at the end of cats links right into or. This is called linking, and it happens all the time. It's a huge reason why three words can sometimes sound like one. Here's another cool trick for efficiency. We use what are called weak forms. Basically, we don't stress the small, unimportant words. We make them softer and quicker. So fish and chips becomes fish and chips. She can speak Spanish often sounds more like Sheena speaks Spanish. It's not lazy, it's just a smart way to put the focus on the important words. Okay, so we know words link together, but believe it or not, it gets even more interesting. Sometimes the sounds themselves actually change. They transform just to make the sentence easier to say. It's like they're little shapeshifters. A perfect example of this, especially in American English, is how the T sound can change. When it's in the middle of a word, it often softens into a D sound. So you write butter, but you say butter. You write water, but you say water. Why? Well, just try it. The D sound is just a little softer, a little faster, and it keeps the sentence flowing. This happens between words, too. A sound at the end of one word can actually merge with the sound at the beginning of the next word to create a brand new sound. For example, the T in don't and the Y in you kind of smash together and become cha. So don't you becomes dancha. You'll hear this everywhere in casual conversation. All right, let's look at the next layer of natural speech. These are the shortcuts and informal phrases that you might not learn in school, but you will hear all the time in movies, in music, and when talking to people. Now, this is really important. These shortcuts, or reduced forms, are not really slang. They are the normal, standard way that people talk. Saying the full want to or going to can sound a little formal, almost like you're reading from a book. In a friendly chat, you're almost always going to hear wanna and gonna. And here are just a few more that you will hear constantly. Gotta becomes gotta, like I gotta finish my homework. Let me becomes lemme, as in let me help you with that. And the classic I don't know, well, that just becomes I don't know. Knowing these is so important for understanding real, everyday English. And for our last section, we need to talk about rhythm. This might be the most powerful part of connected speech. You can think of it as the music of English. Because, get this, you can say the exact same sentence, but if you change which word you stress, you can completely change the meaning. Let's look at this sentence. If I put the stress on the first word, I didn't say he stole the money. What does that mean? It means maybe someone else said it, but not me. I am denying that I was the one who said it. Okay, but what if we move the stress? I didn't say he stole the money. Now the meaning is totally different. Maybe I said he borrowed the money or he found the money, but I am saying I did not use the specific word stole. And one more time, let's stress the last word. I didn't say he stole the money. Well, now it means he stole something else. Maybe he stole the car or the watch, but it wasn't the money. It's amazing, isn't it? The same words can have 3 different meanings just by changing the rhythm. So, the most important thing to remember from all this is that so-called fast speech isn't random at all. It's a system. It's a collection of predictable rules. Rules about linking, changing sounds, and using shortcuts. And the best part is that once you know these rules, you can start to hear them everywhere. So, now you know the secrets. The next time you're listening to English music or watching a TV show, I want you to be a language detective. Listen closely. Can you hear a T that sounds like a D? Can you hear someone say wanna or gonna? This kind of listening is the absolute best way to improve. So, my question for you is, what will you listen for first?